This episode has been sponsored in part by our friends at Veeam. Are you tired of juggling the cost of AWS backups and recovery with your SLAs? Quit the circus act and check out Veeam. Their AWS backup and recovery solution is made to save you money, not that that's the primary goal, mind you, while also protecting your data properly. They're letting you protect 10 instances for free with no time limits, so test it out now. You can even find them on the AWS Marketplace at snark.cloud/backitup. Wait, did I just endorse something on the AWS Marketplace? Wonder of wonders, I did. Look, you don't care about backups, you care about restores. And despite the fact that multi-cloud's a dumb strategy, it's also a realistic reality. So make sure that you're backing up data from everywhere with a single unified point of view. Check them out at snark.cloud/backitup. Good morning, AWS, and welcome to the AWS Morning Brief for this reInvent Eve. A lot of things to go over the past week and what's coming this week as well. There was a giant S3 bucket negligence award that took out Pray.com, so people got punched in the face, as well as, speaking about getting punched in the face, people wound up discovering that US East 1 was largely down for an entire day right before Thanksgiving. Not the best week for AWS, all things considered, but they also dumped a number of other releases that we should be paying attention to in their rush to get things out before this week's reInvent. If you're interested in keeping up with what's going on, be sure to visit ReQuinnVent, Corey Quinn's own version of AWS's own version of Google Cloud Next. That's requinnvent.com. Now, what happened last week in the wide world of AWS besides the horrible things we've already mentioned? Well, Amazon Bracket now supports manual qubit allocation. If you need help with this, please be sure to reach out to your account professor. The Amazon Chime SDK now supports messaging, which does, of course, give rise to the question of what the hell was the Chime SDK doing before? Wasn't its entire raison d'etre to support messaging in the first place? Maybe I'm missing something. Amazon Code Guru Reviewer announces Code Quality Detector to help manage technical debt and codebase maintainability. That's right, now the robot tells you how bad your code is compared to other code the robot has seen and judged others for in the past. Amazon Elasticsearch Service adds Gantt charts for visualizing events, steps, and tasks. You know, when your manager gets an MBA, it invariably becomes a team effort. Apparently, an Elasticsearch product manager is getting their MBA. Congratulations! AWS Ground Station launches new antenna location in Hawaii. Great news for both of the Ground Station customers out there. AWS Secrets Manager now supports 5,000 requests per second for the Get Secret Value API operation. Whoa, that sucker will spew secrets faster than a former White House staffer. Third-party software built for Amazon S3 is now available in the Amazon S3 Management Console, powered by AWS Marketplace. The S3 console now shows you ads for third-party software because AWS has been so very good at cross-selling adoption of its own first-party services. This episode is sponsored in part by Chaos Search. Now their name isn't in all caps, so they're definitely worth talking to. What is Chaos Search? A scalable log analysis service that lets you add new workloads in minutes, not days or weeks. Click, boom, done. Chaos Search is for you if you're trying to get a handle on processing multiple terabytes or more of log and event data per day at a disruptive price. One more thing for those of you who've been down this path of disappointment before, Chaos Search is a fully managed solution that isn't playing marketing games when they say fully managed. The data lives within your S3 buckets, and that's really all you have to care about. No managing of servers, but also no data movement. Check them out at chaossearch.io and tell them Corey sent you. Watch for the wince when you say my name. That's chaossearch.io. You can now restore Amazon DynamoDB tables even faster when recovering from data loss or corruption. How much faster can you make them? Even. New code signing, a trust and integrity control for AWS Lambda. This is pretty clearly aimed at big enterprises with untrustworthy other divisions against which you must guard. Jeff Barr is going to be live blogging the reInvent 2020 keynote that Andy Jassy's delivering tomorrow, Tuesday. I'm going to be live tweeting the same event, so let's see whose version is more informative and whose version is funnier. Creating faster AWS Lambda functions with AVX2. You can make faster Lambda functions if you first install a crap ton of build dependencies, then recompile your software to take advantage of certain CPU extensions. How straightforward. New synchronous express workflows for AWS step functions. Once you've scaled the learning cliff that is step functions, there's now a slightly different expression of them. AWS Copilot is now generally available. A straightforward CLI to launch containers into AWS is now GA, just in time for it to compete with Lightsail containers. Introducing AWS CloudFormation modules. Hooray for slightly less boilerplate and every last resource declaration you need to write. Why AWS loves Rust and how we'd like to help. They're definitely checking the first box of the Rust community standards, which is refusing to shut up about Rust. And lastly, AWS security profiles of Colm McCarthy, Senior Principal Engineer. I don't for the life of me understand why they only ever do these profiles of security employees when there are way too many other interesting releases. I mean, mid-February is slow. Do these then. But it is worth highlighting just how great Colm is. Every time I've encountered him on customer issues, I come away profoundly impressed by him. And that's what happened last week in AWS. Way too much is happening this week in AWS. I'll catch up with you over the next week via requinvent.com.
This has been a Humble Pod production. Stay humble.